Hello, my precious students, and welcome to New Obsidian Duel Academy. I am the headmistress, Lady Cerisa, and while looking into some research topics, I didn't realize how many ruling mistakes was common in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene. I am genuinely shocked with some of the results, as I'm sure some of you would be too. Some of these you may also be making as well. Here's 5 commonly shocking ruling mistakes players make during their matches. Number 1. Equip spells. While equip spells aren't used all that often, and for good reason, some decks still use them from time to time. Only a few archetypes today utilize them. That being said, it's still surprising how many duelists don't seem to realize that unless the card says otherwise, could use these cards on their opponent's monsters. However, some effects like Wonder Wand's draw will not work as it is not your monster to tribute. Number 2. MST negates. By MST, I mean Mystical Space Typhoon. There are some duelists out there that will still run this card under the impression that it negates. The card reads, destroy one spell or trap on the field. Keyword, destroy. That means it doesn't negate, but they seem to believe it does negate because they're destroying the card, but unfortunately it needs to say negate and destroy for that to work. There are a few exceptions to this rule, but that applies mostly to continuous spells or traps, and field spells as they require to be on the field to resolve their effects. This ruling also only made it on this list for the memes, so enjoy. Number 3. Replays. No, I don't mean replays that you save from Dueling Nexus or EDO Pro. I mean the replay done during the battle phase. During my topic research, I stumbled across a scenario that happened to someone where their opponent didn't seem to understand how replays work. How a replay works is if an attack cannot connect due to an outside force, then the attacker can attack again. Example, Scrap Dragon attacks declared on Fairy Tale Luna, but compulsory evacuation is changed to the attack declaration and returns Fairy Tale Luna. Since Scrap Dragon no longer has an attack target, the dragon can then go to another target instead. This is really the only way a replay is formed and no other way. Number 4. Once per turn. As you may have heard me mention in previous videos, there are 2 kinds of once per turn effects. There's the hard once per turn and the soft once per turn. Hard once per turn is when the card's name is mentioned in the card text saying it can only be used once per turn. Hard once per turn is an effect that can only be used once per turn, and nothing you can do can change that. A soft once per turn is when it mentions once per turn, the effect can be used and nothing else, meaning as long as it's on the field, it is once per turn. However, if you return that card to the hand, summon it, or send it to the grave and revive it again, you can use the effect again. An example of a card that can do this is Magical Exemplar, that can special summon a spellcaster monster from hand to graveyard by removing spell counter equal to monster's level from that card once per turn. As long as you can replace it on the field over and over again and gaining spell counters, you can use her effect as many times as you need. Number 5. Effect types. There are 4 types of effect type monsters and not a single one will have all 4 types. Yet players will confuse them all and think one is the other. Unfortunately, this is fairly easily to do. Hopefully, sharing them today will make it easier for you to determine the difference. Ignition effect. is an effect activated during the possessor's main phase. An example is Elemental Hero Stratos, search over spell or trap destruction effect. Trigger effect. A common example of this is flip effects that are trigger effects. They activate during specific events that occur during the match. Quick effect. These are usually mentioned on the card and is the least difficult to confuse. These also act quicker than other types of effects and can be chained to the other two previous mentioned, but not always to the next one. Continuous effects. This is the type of that comes into play the moment the card hits the field. There's no chain, no response time. It just kind of sits there. An example is Dark Lord Nurse Ficule. I hope I pronounced that right because that was difficult for me. I don't know why. Who used to be called Nurse, and here I come chopping it up again, Reficule. Pretty sure I definitely chopped that up. The follow one. Anyways, her effect caused your opponent to take damage equal to the amount of life points they would have gained instead of gaining it. Hopefully this information helps you in your future matches, and I thank you for staying until the end of this video. If you like this video, then hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already for more new Obsidian Duel Academy content. Class is dismissed.